My name's Heather Duke, and I've had a long health care journey. Some points of it actually without conventional health care because I couldn't access it financially. But I was born anoxic at birth. I may have had a first brain injury when I almost drowned when I was probably 9 or 10 years old. And then I had a major head injury at 20 where I was knocked unconscious and ripped open my lip. And after that became very accident prone. But in 2006, I rolled a four-wheeled vehicle on myself in Washington and ended up then losing my house, losing my business and my marriage, and becoming homeless, and then also declaring bankruptcy and going through foreclosure. An ATV accident will definitely trigger more symptoms if you're already brain injured. That's kind of one of the natures of concussion that people don't quite get. They're just starting to get this with the NFL players, that if you've had multiple concussions, you can't tell what's what anymore because things just keep getting worse. And then people get blamed for their behavior, and often they're marginalized from even getting any treatment. I was probably having seizures, though I never got to see a neurologist or an MD about them. Thank goodness not getting diagnosed so that I would still have use of my car and be able to work. I also, lots of ulcerative colitis, lots of problems tolerating foods, just in general, not very able to engage with other people, like go to the grocery store. I would pick times of the day when I didn't have to meet a lot of people and go late at night or late in the evening. Neurofeedback started to change all that, and I would give a lot of credit to that for the first part of my healing, which is why I'm a neurofeedback technician. One of the interesting things, though, that I noticed with this treatment was that I had been dealing with all sorts of inflammatory reactions in my body, with my gut, with my skin, that were affecting my cognition, and I think that changed a lot after Audio Relax. And I alleviated a very long-lived sinus infection within 2 days. So that was really impressive to me. And as both a patient and a clinician, I try to pay attention to what is really working. Because you can do a lot of health care and have things not work. And you say, well, maybe it's going to be a slower, more subtle healing, but that was impressive enough to get my notice. I think it's been very synergistic. When I started catalyzing, I noticed the difference in my neurofeedback sessions. And then when I started AR, I said, whoa, this is really a big deal. One of the interesting things, and I think Samad was talking about this on the list, was dreams. There was a big change in the content of my dreams. My dreams were vivid and I could remember them before, but they became really vivid and they became rich with some content from past trauma. And I would wake up, I would write them down, and I'd say, oh wow, I revisited that spot in my life. That was something big, and it's been reworked in some way. And it wasn't like a lot of times people will revisit things in conventional psychotherapy and get re-triggered, and that's part of the deal. This was just sort of a recognition and moving on, and then feeling like more free with every dream. One of the things I'm dealing with a large level of pain. Now, I've had to do some physically rigorous things for a 44-year-old in the last couple years to make a living. And my pain level went way down. I would say 50% down in the first week. And so I was doing one of my side jobs, and I just noticed I wasn't in pain after the day, and I had more energy. And at my office job, I got up at the end of the day and I said, oh wow, I have energy this evening, which wasn't very normal for me. I would devote a lot of energy to work and then just kind of crash afterwards. I just feel like I can keep continuing. It's not like 40 has to be this steady slope downhill. And that's my insight from all this. So if you tap into your own energy in the right way, you're not going to have to be content with a steady slide. You're paying attention to your body and what it needs more acutely when you start to do this process. And trusting that too. I think trust is a big part, because sometimes you might feel weird tingling in your fingers and say, what the heck is going on? And it's kind of, I feel like being able to be relaxed also reshapes thoughts and expectations. This is something that we hear a lot, like intention is important and attitude is important. If you're brain injured, you're going to have a kind of bad attitude because you've had such bad outcomes because your brain's not working. When your brain starts getting working, you'll understand why everyone has been talking about keeping it positive, because you'll end up being able to think positively.